Nathan, injuries obviously again coming out of last week's game. I mean, how much does that continuity or lack of it sort of hurt you?
Yeah, funny you mention that. So Geordie will be back and so will Billy. So back in the VFL, 75% game time. Looking forward to those boys sort of getting back up and going. Mason and Reedy back available, and Chris Mayne. So 5 blokes back, available for selection. Hopefully, if not this week, then the next 1 or 2, and blue skies on the horizon for us.
You're obviously taking a positive approach to this, but it just feels like the last couple of years you haven't had any luck whatsoever. Do you feel that's going to turn hopefully sometime soon? Yeah,
can't do much about the last couple of years and can't do much about the last couple of weeks. So we are focused on this week against Carlton, and we'll have 22 fit blokes to do the job for us.
Do you feel like you've been coaching almost with one hand behind your back at times?
No.
Have you got an update on Kayle Kirby?
Kayle, so his heart rate is stabilised, rhythm is stabilised. So that was clearly a shock for him and for some of his teammates who were around it. But credit to our docs, the paramedics that came along, and our support staff, our player engagement boys who were contacting him, his family, his mates to set everyone's mind at ease. So he was back at the club today and looking well, and looking forward to getting back in the swing of it. But clearly it's a bit of a shock for him, and there's a few more investigations to find out what caused it and to make sure that we can adequately prepare him and us for any further eventualities, which we're not expecting.
Yeah, so there's no timeline on when he'll return, you just sort of play that play?
No, not as yet. Yeah, so while she'll get back to you with that.
Pretty optimistic diagnosis that he can get back to play.
Yeah, I mean it's not your run-of-the-mill situation, but fact is it came out of the blue when it happened, but it shocked Kayle, it shocked the blokes around him, but once you get your head around it and he's got a bit more information about potentially why it happened or your likelihood of occurrence again, I think that's when you sort of start settling a little bit more and you get back to business.
Given the way you played when Darcy went down, was there a temptation not to bring 2 bigs back in?
We're still yet to select the side, but we felt like Phil Davis and Jeremy Finlayson sort of coming off and being able to take mocks in that last quarter in particular. We weren't able to bring the ball to ground as often as we would have liked in that last quarter, and that was, I thought that was ultimately the big difference in the game. So whether it's a 6'2" or it's a 6'6", it's about your aerial ability and your capacity to bring the ball to ground. So we know that both Mason and Ben are aerially our best forwards, the guys that are going to do the most damage in the air. And whether we go with one or both is going to be horses for courses. But clearly, it's a structure that we believe can work for us. So we'll find out.
Mason didn't have a great game in round 1.
No.
A week out, give him the opportunity to reset and work on a few things.
Yeah, you'd hope so. He put his knee into Reedy's hip too, which kept Reedy out of the side for last week. So there was a bit of butterfly effect in all of that. And when Reedy missed, Broomy was selected. So there was a bit of a roll-on effect from that. But Cox, you can't do anything more than focus on this game and this opportunity, and he's had a really strong pre-season, so he's going to be stronger than one performance.
Treloar and Pendle's played forward more forward and looked a really good move. How did you see that?
It was through necessity a little bit, but they have had stints there through our pre-season, and we've explored that potential and that opportunity. So ads look dangerous, with that speed and break the space and his ability to win one-on-ones. If you can get the ball in quick and deep, well then it gives an opportunity to get a play like that one-on-one, which we saw him be able to finish a couple of times. Pendle was just more exclusively through the midfield, but you will see him in forward roles at times. But we'll continue to find out, and look for a mix that's going to challenge opposition defences as much as we can.
History says zipping 2 or zipping 3 becomes pretty difficult for September. Does that weigh on a group going into a game at all, or does it not become about that?
Look, I understand the focus on that. It's early April, so there's a long season to go ahead, and we're not looking beyond Friday night and that opportunity and the task that we're faced with, which is playing our brand of footy against an opposition who want to win as well. So we want to see more of our brand, and that's our real challenge. We can't do much about the other stuff.
With the ins and outs that you've had, is that
Yep.
one of the more difficult things to make sure that you get your system absolutely spot on?
I think you don't go in playing 22 blokes from round 1 to round 23, so you're schooling up depth of your squad. Some are deeper than others. We've got some young boys that have still got some development to go through VFL, but we've got plenty of blokes that are ready to come in and play roles if required, and that's why we've got a list of 45.
Jordan's obviously been back for a couple of weeks, but it's great he's playing his first game. What are the big changes you've seen from him maybe?
Oh, look, he's adhered to the program that was set in place. He's in Holden Centre. Decisions have been really good through the whole pre-season, and it's the focus for him was to be more diligent, more professional, more attentive to potentially some of his preparation on his way here, on his way away home from Holden Centre. So, from all reports, that's been really positive. He's trained really, really well with intensity, and I think you can see the impact that he can have on the football club if he brings his best. And actions will do the talking more than the words.
So Tom Lang a little bit of work away from the main groups.
He's right. It's a short week for us, so individual prep.
I'm not sure if you mentioned Daniel Wells before, but has he done enough work at VFL level?
I think he's up this week, and he's been training really well. So it's just a matter of getting that continuity in his match play, and that'll come through training and through VFL games. And I think he's still 1 or 2 off.
Right throughout last year and in the first 2 rounds, effort's never really been questioned.
Round 1 wasn't great.
Not on the whole, as a general rule. How do you, I guess, guard against a frustration then the results aren't coming necessarily hand in hand with effort when that's such a big part of the game?
You focus on what you can control and you don't get frustrated.
And for Solo, had a couple of games back, obviously in the VFL. Is he one you're going to consider?
Yeah, he's in the mix. He was emergency last week, and he's just got to keep putting good form together to stake his claim.
The Carlton of this year is probably pretty different to last year. How do you, are there opportunities? Tend to be giving more inside 50s, but getting more.
Yeah, they look to be wanting to move the ball a little bit quicker. And that's probably the biggest shift, and everyone has seen that. But I think they still have been a very strong defensive unit now over the last couple of years, and it seems that they're looking to get that balance right between offence and defence, like a lot of sides. We expect them to be strong defensively, but we do expect them to go a little bit quicker than we would have faced in the last couple of years. But we'll be ready for any eventuality.